Oh, Lachlan and I are best friends. I forgot we did do that.
Oh, I've been slacking on the gifts for the last like 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sorry, everybody.
He doesn't.
That was very
actually,
funny. Oh my
that's
gosh.
lip service. He doesn't actually mean he's sorry. Just say
I'm not sorry to Lachlan, but Lachlan opened the gifts. I swear we
okay.
can get there. I swear.
We can make it if we try. All right.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
Will an upcoming Incense Day sow the Ferroseeds of success?
Make a note to clear your calendar for next season's community days.
And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 283. It's May 21st, another Tuesday evening. If you can believe it, I hardly can. I know Kyle also can hardly believe it. 2 Tuesdays in a row. My word. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
How you doing this week, Kyle?
Doing okay.
Nice. Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for the weather that's about to happen.
You mean tonight at 9 o'clock, or you mean the heat over the week?
No, the heat's whatever. I'll survive.
Okay.
But the storm seems like it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. We got some tornado warning stuff. We got like winds going on, and it's supposed to be nasty Darcy. I've got a couple of friends up in Wisconsin that are getting the front end of that band before it hits us down here. And boy, oh boy, they are just covered in tornado warnings right now. I hope that everybody's okay. But by the time you're hearing this, things would have already happened. So, dear listener, we're fine. I'm sure. I'm sure. Anyway, you know what's not fine, Kyle?
What?
Potentially our goals from last week. I'm not quite sure how it shook out for you.
We'll see.
Okay.
Let's see what your goals happened, huh?
You know, I did okay. I really did. I actually got out and did Bone Sweet Community Day and had a time for sure. I played the entire thing.
Okay.
Which is surprising. I didn't think I was going to, but you know, I say that every time that it's a not exciting community. It's really rare that actually happens. Something bad has to happen.
I caught 3 Bon Sweet.
Shiny Bon Sweet or regular Bon Sweet?
Regular Bon Sweet.
Oh my gosh. It's okay. I got you covered. Don't worry. So yeah, why don't we hop into those goals then? All right. So your first one was part 1 of the Master Ball research. Did you finish that?
I did do that.
Excellent. And are you on number 2 now, or have you moved on to 3?
Yeah.
Beyond that. Okay. Cool. 300,000 experience. Did you do that?
I did that. I did like 800,000 this week.
Yeah, didn't you like message me like an hour afterwards and you're like, oh, I'm done?
Yeah.
We
were recording last week during Spotlight Hour, so I was
towards the
evolving
end,
while we were finishing the recording. And then I finished evolving afterwards, and I'm like, does this count for my goal? Because I got like 500,000 experience just from that.
Yeah.
But I also got another 200,000 from a best friend and, daily catching and all that kind of stuff. So
that's at least 10,000, the daily catching. Jeez. Are you down to 5, or actually do you have up to 5,000 storage spots available?
I cleaned out. Did I do enough? Okay. I'm at 5,044.
Ooh.
Does that count? I was at 6,300.
I don't know. It's up to you. It's your goal.
In my mind, that counts.
Okay. All right. Ruling on the field will stand. It's fair. That means, Kyle, you got 3 out of 3.
I wasn't expecting that. Then I was like, what, like, did I set anything crazy? No, apparently the experience was the crazy one that I just got so much of actually this week.
Yeah, no, you got 3 out of 3, or simplified just to 1, that's great.
I got 1.
For myself, I wanted to catch 20 shiny Bound Sweet. I ended up getting 38, I think, something like that. Hatch 50 eggs. I should have known better. It was an egg hatching event with the bonus. I did 101. Nothing crazy from them, unfortunately, but
goodness.
all that sweet Stardust. And speaking of, I do have my 19 million on hand. I posted a picture of it in the Discord. Very happy about that.
I hatched one egg this week.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hatched 2 eggs this week.
Oh.
And one of them was a Hundo Tortuga. So
hey, isn't that your second one?
No, that's my first one for that. I did catch a wild Hundo Smoliv at some point.
Dude, I caught one today.
Nice. Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I hadn't checked for Hundos in a minute.
Oh, okay.
So I checked and I was like, oh, nice.
Yeah. I got a Smoliv today as well. That is so funny that you mentioned that. And then, lastly, just to round out my goals real quick, as far in the Master Ball research as I can go, well, I certainly put a lot of work into it. I'm on step 3 right now, and the only task I have anything left to do with on that step is the Team Go Rocket encounters, which is 25. I think I've done 9. But I caught, the 100, the 150, the 200, the 350, all that stuff. I did all of that. So I'm going to give myself credit, because while I still could have probably done more Team Go Rocket encounters, I did as many as I was able to in the period of time that I had it available. Good. Yeah. So if we're giving you kindness for 44 spots short of your storage goal, I'm going to give you this
your
one.
goal was also ambiguous, so like it's fair.
Who are you calling ambiguous?
As far as you can go in the research, ambiguous.
Look. Okay.
What if as far as you could go would have been halfway through step 1? Would that have counted?
It is too early in the episode to be checked like this. I'm not ready emotionally for this right now. No, but okay, fair. You're right. And this is the beauty of setting vague goals, because you can either be really harsh or really kind to yourself. And this week, Kyle, we're choosing kindness on GOCast. Yes, that's right.
Now there will be no kindness in about, let's say 6 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Which is funny because this will also pertain to our goals for next week. It's all full circle here on this show. Oh, okay. Well, then I guess why hold back any longer? We'll just hop right into the news. Yo, what up? It's the news. We got 2 pieces of news this week. We got an event that's happening this weekend that we're going to cover. And then we've got the save the dates for community days and a couple of other good events. But first and foremost and up front, we're going to be talking about Incense Day Ferroseed, which will be taking place this Sunday, May 26th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. It is one of the only remaining 6-hour event types out there. So for those of you that like to spend their life on a weekend playing Go, like I do, this is for you. The featured Pokemon is Ferroseed, and it will be attracted to Incense. You'll also have an increased chance of encountering shiny Ferroseed. Both Ferroseed and Ferrothorn have very handsome looking shinies. They turn from green and gray to blue and gray, and it is nice. Kind of universally accepted as a very good shiny. So it's a good choice for this event. Event bonuses. Incense is more likely to attract Ferroseed. We have an increased chance to encounter shiny Ferroseed. And Daily Adventure Incense lasts twice as long when activated during the event. So just a little tip here. We're going to get into this, but not every hour has the same spawn pool. We're doing every other alternating. So the first hour one, the second hour the other, the third hour the first, the fourth hour the second, and so on and so forth. We'll get to that. But the timing to use your Daily Adventure Incense should be used during the hour and at the beginning of that hour of the pool that appeals to you more if you're looking to maximize chances to get any Pokemon in that pool. So just think about that as we cover the rest of this event, because that'll be the only way to really maximize this in that sense. So enough of me yammering. Let's talk about the Incense encounters grass-type Pokemon. Now, these Pokemon will be attracted to Incense between the hours 11 and 12, and then again 1 to 2, and then lastly 3 to 4. And the Pokemon in this pool will be Hisuian Voltorb, Tangela, Hoppip, Petalil, Phantump, and Morlul. All of those can be shiny. I think notable callouts here are Phantump, Hisuian Voltorb, and probably more lol when it comes to Pokemon that you don't see as commonly as the others. What do you think about Petalil? Is Petalil worth calling out here?
Maybe right now it is, but I feel like there's a lot of moments where Petalil is very common.
Yes. Yeah. Petalil is very often used as like a less than common, but not quite uncommon filler pick, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the other spawn pool, which is Incense encounters, Steel type, the following Pokemon will be attracted to Incense from 12 to 1, 2 to 3, and then lastly 4 to 5. And that pool includes Galarian Meowth, Magnemite, Aeron, Beldum, Shieldon, and Togedemaru. Unfortunately, Togedemaru cannot be shiny, and therefore is the only Pokemon featured in this event that cannot be shiny at all, which makes it, in my opinion, an odd choice for this pool, because there's so many other Pokemon it could have been. But Togedemaru is popular, I guess. Hey, anyway.
Yeah.
We'll come back and talk about the pools and stuff, but let's just finish out the event really quick, Kyle, if you don't mind. There's going to be a 1 Pokecoin bundle that's going to include an Incense, so it's essentially free. They're just giving you an Incense. And then there will be field research tasks reward. Incense Day themed field research will be available. Catch grass type and steel type Pokemon to earn rewards such as Stardust, Pineapple Berries, Ultra Balls, and Great Balls. Out of them to put Ultra Balls before Great Balls on this list. I know that's a thing a very strange thing to hang my hat on, but that is weird to me. Okay. Anyway, Mr. Kyle, do you have any thoughts about this event outside of the spawn pools, or do we just want to go ahead and talk about that in particular?
Well, I mean, I have thoughts about the event. It ties in with the spawn pools, but not these specific spawn pools.
Then respectfully go off King.
Okay. Well, that took 5 minutes and 20 seconds. I was pretty close. It's going to sound really strong. I hate these events.
Oh, wow. Really?
I don't like these events at all. I think they're flawed in execution, especially when you have so much better events like research days and community days, of course.
Yeah.
Number one, you have one featured Pokemon, but you have a large pool of Pokemon to encounter. So even with, like, let's just say 50% of all Incense Pokemon are Ferroseed, that's not that many unless you get to play all 6 hours, and it's tied to Incense, so you gotta hoof it. If you want the maximum amount of spawns, you gotta be moving. Like a pretty good clip in my experience. I haven't played an Incense Day in a minute. If they make it more generous, that's great. I don't feel like they have.
I don't think so either.
But like, you got to walk basically nonstop to get the 1 spawn per minute that Incense max out at. And then it might spawn a Hoppip. Like, what? I just... Phantom
if you're
is
lucky,
awesome.
Traders. It might have got her a Hoppip.
It might... It's like... And now, if you play for 6 hours and it's a 50% rate and you somehow walk for the, like, 4 or 5 miles an hour that you need to for the Incense to max out, you get 180 encounters at Ferroseed. That's pretty good. Like that's good. Again, that's assuming perfect play, though. People are more likely to stop. People are going to talk. You're going to want to do research. Maybe you want to do a raid. Actually enjoy playing the game, and then you're going to get half as many encounters, if that. And like, that's fine if all you want is Ferroseed, but they're going to throw in all of these other spawns, and like Phantom, great shiny. I would love a shiny Phantom. Morlo, good Pokemon to chase because it's not very common shiny.
Bonus Stardust.
Yeah, also bonus Stardust. It's got those mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
You can't reliably get those. The pool is too big. So if most of the time you get a Ferroseed, and then the rest of the time you have to split your spawns between 6 Pokemon, of which you only care about 2 of them, like, you're going to get like 10 encounters for that Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I think the steel type hour is kind of bad outside of Galarian Meowth, but that's that's a separate discussion, I think.
I was going to make the argument to the contrary, that I think that the steel pool is superior.
I mean, the problem, they've been featured so much. The steel pool has all been featured so much.
But let's just think about, okay, I'm not going to disagree with you. You're 100% correct. I am tired of seeing several of those Pokemon. But consider this from an analysis perspective at face value. And I do mean at face value, right? The pool for the steel type is rarer and is more meta than the grass pool is.
That's true. I will say, though, you don't get enough of them for that to be a very strong argument. Because over this whole encounter, maybe you get 10, 20, maybe you get 30 Beldum, which would be crazy probably, given the RNG. What you walked away with, if you pin-app every single one, you walked away with 100, what is it, 180 candy?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It's just...
Sure.
That's a best case scenario. So you're more likely to get, 3 or 4 Beldum or whatever, and it's all right. No.
Yeah, but I mean that is a criticism of the event type and not necessarily the pool.
Yes, that's fair. I don't know. I just think Morlul and Phantom do a lot of heavy lifting in grass type versus we see Beldum a lot in events.
Morlul is great because the extra Stardust, but counter that with Galarian and Meowth. At least they kind of cancel each other out. Phantom is a good shiny.
Galarian and Meowth is the one Meowth that doesn't have increased Stardust, actually.
Oh, for real? I thought it did.
And this one doesn't.
Oh, okay. Anyway, well then, I guess there's more Stardust only in the grass type pool. But Aron is a mega Pokemon that you can get for in Aggron. So
anymore either.
It is a little uncommon now, but that's okay. It was very common for long enough. We're fine with that. Beldum is incredibly meta. We would love to see more Beldum. Shieldon is rare because it's a fossil, although it is one of the fossils that they trot out now the most.
And they also had a research day.
Yeah. The only real problem I have with this steel type pool is that Togedemaru. Like, I don't know what the hey that Pokemon is doing there.
Especially because it can't be shiny.
Yeah.
My question here is what purpose or what goal does Incense Day try to do? You're trying to spotlight a Pokemon, Ferroseed, but a research day would be a more adequate thing to do in that regard. And if you're trying to introduce a bunch of Pokemon for other people to get, that works well, but then why spotlight Ferroseed? It's kind of like making people feel bad who care about Ferroseed versus people who just want the whole suite. A newer player is going to be a lot more excited for an event like this. Although excited is probably a strong word. Going to be a lot more interested in an event like this because they need everything. And in which case every spawn is good.
Yeah.
But do you really need to guarantee every spawn is good to make an event like this entertaining, in my opinion?
So I'm going to ask you the question that I remember what the answer was that we gave for the last one. Whereas if this was just advertised as a grass and steel type Incense Day event and Ferroseed wasn't spotlit but was added to both pools, would we feel better about this?
I would feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like a little bit better. I feel like the event would at least have an identity.
Yeah.
Like, this event is featuring this Pokemon, but here's what this event is trying to do. Just feature 2 pools in one set. Yeah.
It is odd because so that was the answer that we gave last time from what I can remember, was definitely like an identity thing. Whereas in the way that this event and these types of events, these incense events sound is super different than the way that they feel when you play them. And that has been our top complaint for the past, I think, 2 of these.
Yeah. Such a simple way to fix it, in my opinion, is cut each of these pools in half.
Yeah.
If each pool was 3 Pokemon plus Ferroseed, immediately better feeling because you can make those 3 Pokemon really count.
Yeah. And especially since outside of incense spawns, it's going to be regular spawns in your area.
Exactly. You have nothing. That's why research days are so much better, in my opinion, because you're targeting your research, which is cool. But then the spawns around you are different for the day. And that's really important for making the day feel different from just going out and playing Go. Because I can go out and play Go right now and put an incense on and get a similar experience to what this will provide me, even if I won't get Ferroseed.
So do you think that's the play style that they're trying to encourage people to try out? Because I mean, like, think about it, right? We've talked about research day and how much we like research days and stuff like that, because it is like, it's an easy system. You look at it, okay, this is how I can min max, boom, bam, right? I'm going to be looking for this thing. I'm going to be looking for it in this place. Once I clear this out, I move on, right? It has a particular play style that's clear and then makes you think more about, hey, during regular events, when there are things in field research, that wasn't so bad. I could probably do that for like an hour and maybe find the thing I'm looking for. With this, it's definitely trying to encourage you to be like, hey, you can just take a walk with incense on, right?
Yeah. And like, but I can do that every day, you know?
Right?
Like,
right.
Niantic,
Like you were just
what do you
saying.
want me to do here?
Exactly.
I think something else that you talking actually made me think about. We don't really talk about this in particular because it's not as relevant for us. It requires incense.
Yeah.
This is 6 incense, 5 if you use your daily adventure incense to play this event.
Oh, also they give you 1 for 1 coin.
Okay, so it takes 4 incense then. But for people who don't spend money, or people who get free coins, or maybe people who are low spenders, it is a terrible value to go buy incense just to play this event, because, I mean, sure, incense are cheap, but it's not, I guess, I would rather buy an incubator. That's how much I would prefer that.
Right. And they could have met us halfway by being, hey, man, you know, an incense is going to last an hour. 2 hours would have been incredible. Dare I ask for 3 like it is on Community Day with no big fanfare? Like,
yeah, like hatch days already are really bad because you have to use incubators to get them.
Right.
So like this is like a halfway in between being as bad as hatch days and being actually good like a Community Day.
Our incense, they're still not an hour, right? That was a seasonal bonus we had forever. Normally. They're 30 minutes again.
Yeah, but daily adventure are it's only 15 by default.
Only 15, so it'll be up to a regular incense.
Yeah.
Time.
Well, it'll be up to the extended. Oh wait, no, that's twice as long. Never mind.
Right. So the improved adventure sync incense. The adventure incense. What is this called again? Not adventure sync incense.
Daily adventure incense.
Daily adventure incense. My word. That'll be 30 minutes, and all of the regular incense will be 30 minutes.
60 minutes. They're all 60 minutes. 60 is the default. I was thinking correctly. I misread this, but yeah. So I just double checked in the app.
Okay. All right. Your 1 daily adventure incense, if used during the event, will be for 30 minutes. Use it wisely. The other incense besides are not being boosted, but they will last for an hour apiece. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Correct. That is accurate. Sorry, everybody listening. We made that more confusing than it needed to be. I don't pay attention to the incense. I just turn it on because what does it matter?
Look, it's difficult. When you've been playing for as long as we have, it is kind of difficult to remember, like, oh yeah, are we doing this quality of life thing or this pseudo quality of life thing? Like, are we still getting guaranteed XLs from trades? I don't think so anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
so like that kind of just feels bad from the average player perspective, because now this event gets even worse because you're probably only going to use 1 or 2 incense to play the event. The amount of people playing all 6 hours is even smaller than the people who played all 6 hours of 6-hour community days.
Oh yeah. By a lot, I think. This is definitely the sort of event that even if you think you're going to play the entire time, you're going to be tired. This asks a lot of you. A lot. Yeah. You can hang out in a parking lot for all of Community Day, and it's probably going to be fine because the spawns are so compelling and you don't have to do anything else. The incense is just gravy. This, you have to keep moving because the incense, once they made all those changes, it is next to useless standing still.
Yep. Yeah, So like, I know we've been overly negative here, and I just want to see incense days have an actual identity. And if you feel like incense days do have an identity that we're not looking at from here, let us know. I'd love to hear someone else's perspective where Incense Day is your jam, because I'm open to that. I absolutely am. I just can't see it.
And I do want to say for both of us, because I know you feel this too, validate players that like to do walking for 6 hours. That's awesome. That's great for you. Very happy for you and your cardio health. But even those of us that are willing to walk 2 or 3 hours, it's a lot. It's a lot. And because it is asking so much more of you than another event, that it's just notable. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah, I think a lot of events that happen in Go, especially day-long events, day, quote unquote, there for Pokemon Go days,
yeah,
which are usually between 3 and 6 hours. You can get something accomplished when you go to play, no matter what you do. If I go to play 30 minutes of Community Day, you can still feel good at the end of that 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you go play an hour of a research day, you can probably feel pretty great because you'll hit all of your local stops. If you don't have an amazing place to play, you usually have to travel for a research day anyways.
Yeah, it is super dependent.
But like for this, if you go out and you play for an hour, you're probably not going to feel very good because you didn't get a whole lot for the effort you put in.
I don't know. They could up the rate, the spawn rate for Incense. And your daily adventure Incense will certainly have a higher spawn rate. So again, make sure you're using that during the hour that you want to target the most.
Increase the rate that it spawns Pokemon, or rather reduce the speed that it requires you to walk. That would be fine. If it did the still 1 per minute but required much less speed, you still have to move, but much less. That'd be pretty cool. But like, I know that when I've done my daily adventure Incense and I want to maximize it, I want to get like 32 spawns or whatever during the daily adventure Incense. I'm sweating at the end of that walk. And I'm not in great shape, but I'm not like, I can usually walk just fine during long events. And that's pushing it.
Sure. You're not athletic, but you're certainly not out of shape.
Yes.
Yeah. You work on your feet, so like you are used to moving around quite a bit, but it is a huge ask all the same. It is a huge ask. All right. Well, folks, that's research day. Sorry. I mean, Incense Day, not research day, unfortunately. Well, you know what? We'll be here next week and we can talk about it a little bit. If the stars align and Niantic puts the information out, we should be doing our big season episode next week. We'll see how that shakes out.
Can yell at me for not being best friends.
Oh yeah, well it's not just you. I don't think I've done it either. But him and I think are like 1 day away.
No, I think we're like 2 weeks away.
Something like that. I don't know.
We're 7 days away. Let's go, Lachlan. Open your gifts.
Oh, do it.
We can do it.
Lachlan and I are best friends. I forgot we did do that.
Oh, I've been slacking on the gifts for the last
gosh.
I'm sorry, everybody.
That was
very funny. Oh my
that's
gosh.
Lip service. He doesn't actually mean he's sorry. Just say.
I'm not sorry to Lachlan, but Lachlan opened the gifts. I swear we can get there. I swear.
We can make it if we try. All right. We have one more piece of news, and it is the save the dates for next season's Community Days. Speaking of next season, trainers, we're excited to share the dates for next season's Community Days. Sunday, June 9th, Saturday, June 22nd, which will be a Community Day Classic, Sunday, July 21st, and Saturday, August 31st. Aside from Community Days, there are other fun in-game events on the way, and their dates are as follows. Saturday, June 29th will be a raid day. Saturday, July 27th will be a your best guess. They only gave us question marks, but mark your calendar. It will likely be worthwhile. Saturday, August 10th and Sunday, August 11th will be a shadow raid weekend. And that's it. Nice, short, sweet. We love it.
Yeah.
Now it's very easy to be like, okay, thanks. Great. Awesome. But as Kyle checked me at the very beginning, before we even started recording, this is objectively very, very good. It's good that they're telling us stuff ahead of time so that you can request off work, do all that good stuff. Yeah. So thank you, Niantic.
Yeah. This is going to sound hilarious, but I'm sure so many people listening agree. This is like the best thing that Niantic now does on a consistent basis.
Well, it's one of the only things Niantic does on a consistent basis.
You are true. You are correct. They release their seasons on a consistent basis.
Well, they have to, otherwise it's the game's
I don't know.
over.
You never. So sorry, this season is being postponed. No spawns for 7 days.
Yeah.
No, it's great to just know the dates in advance. They are alternating Saturday and Sunday, which a lot of people asked for a long time. It's a bummer for me, but it's good for a lot of people. So yeah. It's great.
It is. They're still just keeping the 2 to 5 each time though.
Yeah,
we're never going to go back, are we? It's never going to be 11 to 2 ever again. Huh?
I bet you there's some metrics about like what kind of foot traffic it generates towards businesses and areas that they can use as leverage for talking about how effective Go is.
Yeah.
When looking for brand deals or when looking for anything like that.
You are likely correct.
Because like nobody wants somebody walking around at 11 a.m. by their business unless they're a breakfast place.
Or a brunch place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because those places are usually always crazy busy anyways.
That's very, very true. Speaking of, before we move on, I got to ask you, and I meant to ask you this a few weeks ago. But have you clicked on any white balloons and gotten the McDonald's ads?
No, I have not.
Bro, next time you see a white balloon, tap on it. Hopefully it's one of the McDonald's AR ads. It is okay. Now I know some people liked the snack ones. What are they called? Where you were building like the picnic table with like pretzel sticks and like slices of cheese and stuff. Did you not get any of these?
I did not, or I just don't click the white balloons like 80% of the time.
Oh. You should click the light balloon. You should.
I am not a tool for them to sell ads to. I'm okay. I don't need 100 Stardust that badly.
Do one of them. Make an exception for Ronald.
I will try this.
One of the McDonald's ones. They're pretty okay. Super short, and there's no stinking music that plays at the lowest bit rate possible. That makes me want to rip my ears off.
Okay.
All right. Somebody out there is listening and going, me too, man. Me too. And I just want to let you know that I see you. You are seen. Okay. Anyway, that's it for the news. Thanks, everybody. And I guess we're going to move right along here to this week's Gear Up segment.
This week on Gear Up, we're going to take a look at the fusion Pokemon. First up, we have Duskmane Necrozma. And we've gone over all this last week, so I'm not going to go into any fine details about anything here except what these Pokemon are going to be able to do. And Duskmane is Psychic Steel type. And don't worry about the Psychic typing for PvE at least. It's not going to be really relevant. It doesn't learn very great Psychic type moves. It'll be usable, but like not very good. Psychic is too competitive. Don't worry about it.
Like arguably the most competitive.
Yeah, too many Psychic legendaries. Steel at the moment on paper is not bad. It's worse than Meteor Mash Metagross, but not by a crazy amount. But it's only because it's held back by its current possible moveset only has Iron Head as a charge move, which is not good.
Ew.
But for GoFest, it's going to be getting Sunsteel Strike. And considering Sunsteel Strike is a signature move, it's probably gonna be pretty good. It's really hard to know for the rest of what I'm about to say without having the numbers. This is just speculation, assuming it's going to be at least competitive. And if you give Duskmane Necrozma Meteor Mash, for some comparison's sake, it becomes very good. So as long as Sunsteel Strike is at least competitive with Meteor Mash, Duskmane is going to be the best Steel type attacker aside from Shadow Metagross and future Mega Metagross. Too many M's. So, very good. But maybe Sunsteel Strike will be like 100 energy, and it'll actually turn out to be like not that great because it has a long animation or something. Niantic has a history of messing up stuff that should be a good thing. But I'm going to assume it's going to be good. That way I can be disappointed later.
My man, that's
but
the
I
way
can
to
stay positive here because
you gotta farm that content in the future, man. You can't be doing it now. That's
next up we have Dawnwing Necrozma, and it's Ghost Psychic. Same story for Psychic. With the current possible moves it can have, it's not really anything worth writing home about, and I don't think you can learn anything better in the future for Psychic types because its best charge move is Future Sight. Just not great.
Wow, that's incredible.
I guess Future Sight could get buffed in the future.
Yeah, they could do it the same way they did with Psychic, and they would be like suddenly good, and then Synchronize will cry itself to sleep again.
Oh man, poor Synchronize. Still not buffed. It's been 6 years.
Yeah, because buff it for who? Gardevoir? Okay.
For the one community that it mattered. Anyway, for Dawnwing, I'm going to assume it's going to get Shadow Claw. I think on paper right now, what people have seen, it doesn't have Shadow Claw. I'm going to assume they're not going to mess that one up. But they might. And if they do, I'll be very sad.
You can get it during the December Community Day.
If it doesn't get it, Dawnwing Necrozma will be effectively worthless in PvE. So that's for sake of discussion, it gets it.
Okay.
And same story. We don't know the stats for energy costs for Moongeist Beam. Good. I'm going to assume it's very good. Fingers crossed. Calculating with Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, because that's the standard, and we're going to hope Moongeist Beam is competitive with Shadow Ball as a signature move, makes Dawnwing quite good. Its bulk makes it stand out, as well as having solid DPS with Shadow Ball as a moveset. Again, assuming Moongeist competes. Depending on Moongeist Beam's performance, Moongeist could be better than Shadow Ball in the end. Dawnwings is going to be pretty much the best ghost type attacker in the game. With Shadow Ball stats, it's like second behind Mega Gengar. So number one, really. Shadow Gengar is actually higher, but with Shadow Gengar, doesn't even survive one confusion, so we don't talk about it.
No.
But it will be better than Giratina, including DPS and bulk. So big deals.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. It's got those legendary stats, and it just needs the right moves. That's all it needs.
That's right.
Like Blacephalon had potential and has potential, but if they give it like Astonish, it'll just be okay. Which they definitely could do. It could learn Shadow Claw. It can. So fingers crossed. But
yeah, but it's wearing like mittens, isn't it? It's not wearing it doesn't have like claws. It's got like mitts.
So yeah. Both of them are very much worth using in their niche, as long as they don't absolutely butcher the two signature moves. Yeah, I'm real excited for Dawnwing in particular. Love that design.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see them. This is like the only form of Necrozma that I like. Are these fused ones, because it's less Necrozma and half a good legendary. So
I'm Digimon, though. Necrozma is basically a Digimon.
Yeah, but no. If Necrozma was a Digimon, it would be a bad one. It would be, and I can point you towards. Is it Diaboramon? What's the one from the movie? And I know that's opening a can of worms. I know that stops bringing that up. But whatever the one who the big evil dude who like was in the internet and trying to like shoot missiles off.
Yeah,
it kind of like that would be kind of like it, except that Digimon still has like connective tissue where you're like, I see what the design is here. Not what if I drew a bunch of boxes.
Diaboramon looks like a mix between Necrozma and Zarude.
Yeah, and I like it better. It's got more attitude. Like, to me, okay, I'm just going to say this and then we can move on because we should move on. But Necrozma to me looks like, the people that would just write on the back of their like their notebooks at school and just draw like squares and triangles next to each other. And then they just put a face on it. And they're like, yeah, there you go. Okay. That's a legendary Pokemon. Yeah, come on. You can't convince me. I don't like this Pokemon at all. It's not good. Even though I know it is. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Kyle, for the gear up. I think everybody is kind of universally jazzed for these forms. They're going to be kind of cool. new feature, new function, new Pokemon. What's not to like? Okay,
Apparently it's design.
What's that?
I said apparently it's design.
Depends on who you ask. I think I'm a minority here with this. All right. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick little break here, and then when we come back, we're going to be hopping right into PokéPoll this week.
Welcome back. So for last week's PokéPoll, we had, with the addition of another game feature, Fusions, do you think Pokemon Go is getting more difficult to approach as a new trainer? First response is from TJ Hollis via X/Twitter. Said, yes, definitely. I had a friend who hasn't played since 2016 re-download the game a few months ago. The frustration at how everything came at him all at once was palpable, and he ended up deleting it 20 minutes later, stating it was too confusing and too much. Oh my goodness. 20 minutes. That's awful.
Yeah, I do wonder, though, if part of that was because they weren't starting from like level 1, if they were just logging into their old account. If they were like level 20 or something like that or above, there's been a lot of stuff added incrementally, I'm sure, that's introduced to the player that would just boom to a level 20. Do you get like
blasted with a bunch of special research that are permanent when you start playing?
You get a few, and then as you level up, you have access to some other ones that are like everybody has. Yep. And a lot of them too, we have to remember that even if you do have them, you get like 1 or 2 steps into some of them, like the original Masterwork ones, like from you and stuff like that, that they then instantly check you for like, you got to be level 20 to go to the next one. Or your Kanto badge has to be silver or whatever. Like that stuff still exists that we don't have to worry about. So there is some metering there.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's still overwhelming. I mean, it's not. I don't know. Yeah.
All right. Next one's from Jacket K. They said, not really, in my opinion. Fusions, megas, items. At the end of the day, they all serve the same function of making a Pokemon stronger, and the UI is straightforward enough to understand what it means. Now, whether they're accessible for new players to actually achieve is another story. That's fair. I mean, I think a key difference, though, is the game doesn't tell you, hey, here's Charizard. If you want to Mega Evolve it, you have to wait 3 months for Charizard to then be in a Mega Raid, and then do the Mega Raid, and then Mega Evolve it to then get its Mega level up.
Yes.
And I think that's... a lot of games would have a very easily accessible tutorial when you are introduced to the Mega mechanic. But especially because it's a rotating mechanic that you can't... what if you don't even have the Pokemon to know about it?
I think the onboarding Pokemon is still Beedrill, and I'm pretty sure they give you the energy and the Pokemon that you need for it. But yeah, if you're like, how do I get this Charizard up there? They don't tell you like, oh, you have to wait. It'll come back.
And like, it's self-explanatory. But like, only because we know the basics, I suppose. So I think that's where the part I think it might be confusing for people.
Definitely.
Not the actual act of Mega Evolving, for sure. Next response from Matthew Birchfield. I'm going to assume it's not like the tree, though, with a U. Yes. I'm trying to teach my kids about Pokemon Go. They're too young to go really into detail, but the more Pogo adds, the more I have to explain to them over time. You know, I was thinking, hey, maybe I'll be able to get my nephew to like Pokemon with Pokemon Go. I'll probably just like give him Let's Go Pikachu or something instead. That's probably going to make him want to play Pokemon more than
I feel like
just him to go.
You can quite literally get your arms around that much more than Go.
Next spot's from Triptando, and they said, while I'm as far away from a new player as it gets, I do think that is the case for sure. At this point, we got countless amounts of features that it might get a bit overwhelming for a new player. I think the best solution would be an in-game guide or button that links to a web page guide. It could explain what Mega Evolution bonuses do, how Fusion works, how to use Campfire to gather locals for shadow raids, how to acquire rocket radars, what a route is, etc. You get the point. We need a handbook somewhere, somehow. I know Niantic loves to tie some rewards to raids because they sell. I hope that things like Primal Energy and Fusion Energy will be available through like special research for everyone, just enough to use the specific feature once, so that new players, even though they started playing right after these GoFest, can experience these features and get a feel what they're like instead of having to wait potentially years before these Pokemon return to raids, especially when these fused forms have a move with an adventure effect. It wouldn't be fair if they didn't have access to those effects at all. Much love, Tristan. Yeah, absolutely. Nothing's got to be worse than when you play a game like Go and you look something up and everyone's talking about this and you don't have it. And you won't have it and you can't have it.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw the PvP community a bone here. They're really good about maintaining a conversation about budget picks.
Yeah. They know because they have to. Otherwise, they'll alienate everybody from playing the game.
Right. Worst case scenario, you could always run Poliwrath.
Last one's from... Oh, not the last one. Second to last one is from Pepper is Found. They said, at this point, so many features require multiple people. I would consider myself a new player right up until I hit level 40, maybe 2 years of playing, a little bit after level 50 was implemented, simply because I didn't have any numbers to do legendary raids or anything. I was stuck doing all the solo features, which was extremely limiting. There really isn't a good way to socialize on Pokemon Go. They're trying to set up Campfire, but even then it seems like a large part of the community doesn't use it. I understand why Pokemon Go can't do raids like Monster Hunter, but I feel like there's possibly some middle ground in between how the two do 5-star raids. We have a brand new Pokemon player in my trio, almost level 40 himself, and he isn't necessarily discouraged from the game, but it's a bummer when the other third and I have to tell him we need 1 or 2 more people to comfortably do a Mega or a 5-star, although maybe we are taking it a little bit too safe. Yeah, I mean, no disagreement there. Although I feel like 90% of raids can be done with 2 really competent people and a third pulling weight. So
yeah, but the requirement for those 2 competent people is also a high level.
Yeah, but it depends. Obviously, Pepper has been playing for 5 years now, at least. I think that's how long. I don't know when level 50 came out anymore. So there's a chance. Definitely Mega. Every single Mega raid can be done with 3 people at this point.
Yeah, that more or less.
Don't take that as gospel, but almost every single one. There may be some weird standout ones. So
a couple of them are surprisingly more difficult. Yeah,
definitely will crush those Mega raids, but definitely agree. The solo app. If you're a solo player in Go, you have a lot of stuff that you're like, oh my gosh, I can't do it.
Yeah, it would be neat if there was a some sort of long roundabout way that solo players could figure it out. Still manage to take part, but still, yeah.
The game needs better tools for sustaining community.
You
want to put so much focus on community, but the game doesn't actually have any tools.
Yeah. Here, I think I have a fix, actually. You ready?
Okay.
What if they removed the limit on remote raid passes and made them cheaper?
Yeah, that might solve the issue.
I think
it might solve the issue, at least for some people.
It could definitely do it, because then, like, imagine you are a solo player somewhere that doesn't have a lot of access to raids, but you love Pokemon Go and you'd love to spend your money and spend more time with Pokemon Go. You could just join an online community that is hosting a bunch of remote raids, and you don't have to worry about how many you can or can't do, and you can help other people. Like, that'd be cool. We should probably let them know. We should.
It'd be a really good idea.
Yeah.
Or every raid could just have like matchmaking. When you hit raid, it puts you with another person doing the raid in the rest of the world. Oh my god!
And then throws you into a Discord call, so you have to interact with them. Calling raid lobby 27065.
What? Wait, no.
Hey, yo, who brought the aggron?
Yeah.
I can see why that would be not good. Kind of like how voice chat in League was also a terrible idea.
Yeah, but like clans, just community chat, like anything inside of Go would be a lifesaver.
Yes.
I don't think Campfire is it. I think maybe if Campfire came out when the game launched, it might have been it. But even then, it's you're pushing it.
I mean, Campfire is valuable in other ways, just not in this way for everybody, right? Yeah. Okay. We have one more response, and it is from Sarah Amanda in the form of a voicemail.
It's Sarah Amanda here. So, yes, while there's like a lot of features, and I can imagine it's very overwhelming to new player. And I mean, I don't say I can imagine it. I mean, I see it. Like the other month, I had a new coworker like pick up the game. It was during Token Tick Community Day, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, what is going on?" There was just so many things in the game, and I'm like, so I was just like trying to prioritize telling her about like most important and useful and relevant features, and I'm like, I'll just back around and someday tell her about these other things. So, and like at Raid Hour, I see a lot of casual players, they'll be happy to catch their first, whatever. But I know one of them, like, I'll give out coin bags to everybody on the Switch, and I'm always explaining how to do it. I got down to a science now. I can explain how to do coin bag without even looking at their phone. And it's kind of dummy proof. But anyway, one of the somewhat regulars, she's like, no, I don't want a coin bag. I don't know what it is, but no. Like,
oh no.
Like, it's just like one thing too many. And it's like, it's just one Pokemon. Who cares? Right. So it's like, okay, sure. I respect, like, you don't need to know, and it's fine. So I kind of think fusions are probably gonna be like that too. Like, yeah, it's nice, but it's okay if the casual player doesn't know how it works or what's going on with it.
Yeah.
Just engage with whatever you want, when you're like ready to try something new. So there's a lot of features. I don't think it's a big deal. Sorry, I was kind of rambling. It's all peace, Sarah Amanda.
I think there's definitely a lot of wisdom there, because I guess, if some people's just like, I don't want to deal with that right now. And if you just let them be, chances are, if they continue to play it the way they want to, that they will circle back at some point.
Yeah.
Because the curiosity will take over. Right. Yeah. So great. And thanks again, Sarah Amanda, for doing the heavy lifting with getting those coin bags out to folks. It's something that we saw at local stuff for, I wouldn't say like 4 or 5 months after that game came out, and it was the thing to do. Like I partook in several like Golden Stop events. Shout out to Camo and other folks in the Woodstock community. But even those have slowed down quite a bit. I think people are kind of bagged out.
Once you've completed it, there's no reason until they let us get the shiny.
The shiny, and then also like just hunting for that hundo gimme ghoul, because at that volume, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah, you definitely can, but it's obviously not as much of a priority compared to just getting it.
Also, it has the barrier to entry of being convoluted and tied to a main series game, all that stuff. But either way, thank you very much for the voicemail, Sarah Amanda. Appreciate it.
For this week's PokéPoll, we have: one day you wake up to find 100,000 Pokecoins added to your account. What do you spend them on? All right. So it's pretty straightforward question. Be interested how straightforward or roundabout the answers are. For me, I would probably max out my storage first, because I'm not max, because I didn't think I needed it.
Yeah.
But if I had the coins, I'd be like, why wouldn't I?
Right,
I'm at 6,800 right now, by the way. So I'm not like really low, but.
Oh yeah, you're close. Close.
And then, surprise for everybody, I'd probably buy or save for the best incubator bundles that they have.
Yes.
I'm like, right now I have the 7,000 coins for 50 super, 50 regular box.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not bad. I think I'd have to go double check the value, but I'll buy
a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
500 incubators of each.
Yeah, but like, okay, so man, that 7,000 coin box is always tempting. I saw it yesterday.
It's bad. No, it's bad. Like, it's too expensive.
It is too expensive, but it is the best deal that I see on the reg.
Yeah.
My answer is incubators. I don't need Pokeballs. I don't need anything else. Honestly, it's incubators are the thing. I use them daily. I use them all the time. I would save a lot of money and just.
It's kind of weird because like the value between a raid pass and an incubator obviously depends on how much you want to use the raid pass, of course. The incubator is 3 hatches every single time. The raid is 1 encounter. But the encounter is probably a lot more valuable than whatever 3 you get from the egg. And so, like...
Depends on the egg, right? Because you also get, like, the Stardust and experience from hatching the egg.
Yeah, but you get Stardust and experience from doing a raid.
Oh, you get a lot more candy from hatching, too. And
yes, you do, but you could also hatch Meryl. So, like... So
that was a bad pick because Azumarill is great and you want those XL candies.
It is, but you get like 2 XL candies, so I think it's a fair example. But,
yeah.
And you'll get 6 XL candy from doing the raid. So
sure.
Like that's why it's like, but like, do you need 1,000 raid passes? I don't know. Do you need 1,000 incubators? Maybe I could use them. I'd have a lot more trouble using 1,000 raid passes than I would 1,000 incubators.
Yes. Me too. 100%, man. The thing is like the way I play, and maybe this is just a me thing, but if I run out of raid passes and that means that I have to pass up on a 5-star raid and invite from somebody else or not, as opposed to me looking at my eggs and being like, I'm out of incubators and being okay with that feels very different to me. I'm okay passing up on raids because whatever, that's fine.
Oh, slight amendment. I'd probably save
Wait, did you say side amendment?
Slight amendment.
Oh,
close enough. But yes, the definition is the exact same thing here because I'd probably save like 5,000 coins to use for lucky eggs,
Pokeballs.
Star pieces.
Oh,
and yeah, that's just that. Lucky eggs and star pieces until I'm level 50.
Yeah, and then it's just lucky. I mean, star pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, star pieces. Yeah. Man, oh man. Anyway, dear listener, I'm kind of curious to hear what y'all have to say. So this week's Pokepoll question one more time is, one day you wake up to find 100,000 Pokecoins added to your account. Oh my gosh. What do you spend them on? You can answer that question when we post it on our X/Twitter account at GOCast Podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, hello YouTube, how's it going? We're waving to you. Thank you. You can leave a comment and that'll be great. If you're listening on Spotify, the mobile app in particular, you can actually interact with the episode directly. There's a tab for Q&A. Just go ahead and answer there. If you are a patron of ours on our patron Discord via Patreon, patreon.com/GoCast podcast, then you have access to our patron channel as well in that Discord for PokéPoll. You can answer the question when it's posted there. But we also have 2 other avenues that are, it's a choice. It's a matter of taste, I suppose. You can send us a voicemail at 262-586-7717 or send us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com. And speaking of voicemails and emails spiritually, of course,
it's time for emails.
Actually, just voicemails. We got a few voicemails here. We've got one from, actually, I've got 2 from Saramanda and 1 from Jamal. Oh, my man, if you're not watching the video, you're missing out. You got some top tier gameplay over there. Kyle just got a shiny Absol. Let's go.
I'm trying to finish some research that's just been sitting there. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. Hey, it could be a Honda.
Oh, I had my Pokeball going today at the gym. Shiny Geodude.
Oh.
What? I was like, that's
15, 10, 10.
Oh, that's really not that bad. You're not megaing that though, are you?
Probably not.
No. All right. We're going to play one Saramanda and then Jamal and then the other Saramanda. All right. So first up.
Hey GoCast, it's Saramanda here. Just wanted to share a field research tip for any possible field research lovers out there or taskaholics like me. So I like to try to target shinies I don't have, and in the current lineup of field research, basically, there's only a handful of tasks I'm super excited about. One of them is the take photos of 3 different ground-type Pokemon, because it gives Drillbur, maybe, and I don't have a shiny Drillbur, so that's what I'm always after. It's actually pretty easy to get your photos in. What I mean is, okay, I get the task, I immediately can knock out 2 out of the 3 of the photos, and here's how. So when you do your weekly 7-day breakthrough, you get a Pokemon as a reward. You can run away from that Pokemon. You can catch it later. You can wait up to 7 days later. because after the 7th day, it's going to like make you catch it before you can get your next week's breakthrough reward. So I got lucky and I got sandy gas. So anytime I can go into my field research breakthrough, take a picture of the sandy gas, run away, and catch it or take a photo of it again later when I need to. Likewise, field research. Whenever you get a field research completed and you get a Pokemon as a reward, you can run away from it and you can go back into the encounter screen anytime later. You can do this up to 100 times. If you stack more than 100 rewards, it'll start deleting the oldest stuff. So anytime I get a ground type Pokemon as a reward, I throw it into my field research stack. So that'll be stuff like I have Stunfisk and Diglett and Drillbur just hanging out in there from other completed tasks. So I think Swinub and Trapinch are also things that are in field research. So they're just hanging out in the stack. So I can go in there and whatever the last thing is, I can take a picture of it, boom, and run away from it again, of course. So immediately I have my 2 out of 3 done. And then I can choose. I can either be patient and wait for the 3rd one to show up on the map, or, you know, if I fight Sierra and if I remember to take a picture of the Trapinch, then that works. I'm usually on autopilot at this point with Rockets, so I almost always forget.
That's fair.
Or if I'm really impatient, I can just go through my field research stack, because like I said, all my Trapinch, Drillbur, Swinubs, whatever, they're all in there, and if I just keep going, I know I'm going to find another ground-type Pokemon. So, yes. Side note, there's another one for take photos of 3 different bug-type Pokemon. I don't remember what the reward was because it's a shiny I don't care about right now, but if somebody does care about it, you know, you can obviously do this with Scatterbug. I don't catch the modern Scatterbug anymore because I have a hundo and I don't want to waste my time appraising and throwing out one particular pattern. So I always could just go into the Scatterbug catch screen for the modern pattern because I'm never going to catch it ever again.
Kind of forgot that existed.
Take my picture and leave if I need to. Anyway, that's all. Peace. Sorry, Amanda.
Well, geez. You're going to be out of a job with Gear Up here, Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, these are all really good tips for field research. So if you like most of us are looking for more agency in your play, Sarah Amanda always sends in good stuff like that. So that was great. I mean, the stack stuff is very obvious, right? I shouldn't say obvious, but throwing things in the stack and saving them is kind of like baby's first tip in this game, right?
Baby's first
trick.
Bug abuse.
Yeah. No, isn't that whenever you fight anybody using a bug type? We're dying out here. Yeah, it's the rest of it. It's gravy. It's really cool. Yeah. Very helpful. Thank you very much, Sarah Amanda. Appreciate it. I do have another voicemail from Sarah Amanda, but first I have one from Jamal from over at the Way Spotters podcast.
Mm-hmm. Hey there, GOCast. Chris and Kyle or Chris, whatever the heck you guys are called this week.
Whatever.
Listening to the episode while I'm going through and doing my Wayfair reviews for the challenge. And I thought, you know what? I don't know the last time I've not used recommended for a raid. You can just call me King Recommended. I don't have time for that. When's the last time I've short-manned a raid? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'm at my local park religiously every Wednesday, and we usually have to split into 3 groups of like 12 or 15. I could bring all Pidgeys. I could bring all Murkrows. I could bring all Agrons. I don't know. I don't take the time to build a party because that takes time. Anyhow, hope you're doing well. See you guys later. Definitely see you in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, like we were saying last week, and Jamal is just very up in front about it. Like the meta conversation about rating and stuff is really contingent on whether or not you have enough people to care. And in most cases, the number is so low, barrier to entry is so low, you can afford to not care most of the time, and that's quite all right. It's funny because you would look at a player like Jamal, and you would never say that he's casual. Jamal cares a lot about the game. And plays when he can, right? So it's that play style is incredibly valid. Incredibly valid. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it really kind of boils down to your community, of course. If you need to min-max your teams, you're going to do it. If you like to
Yeah.
I guarantee you that if Jamal liked the game as much as he does right now, but if he played in a community where when you went to your park on Wednesday and only 4 people showed up, you'd probably have a team of 6 ice types at level 50 waiting in a party so you can appropriately swap to them whenever you need to. And you probably have an empty team as well to save your 5 seconds on loading or whatever. But
like recommended does a fine job nowadays. As long as you have the Pokemon, it does a fine job. It
does, as long as you're not looking for the absolute peak that you can do. Right. If you're like cool with 80% of what you're personally capable of, you're probably fine.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, though, sometimes the recommended really drops the ball and you have something that's going to be much better. But
right,
most of the time, it's pretty okay nowadays. It only took them 5 years to get that right.
Yeah. Well, I think the takeaway is that in order to succeed, you don't necessarily have to go beyond Plus Ultra. You can just recommend your way through to victory. But as a closing comment on that whole thing, make sure you go check out the Wayspoters podcast. It's a podcast literally about Wayfarer and all of that jazz. And if you think that's a wild concept, you should go and listen to it because they cover some really interesting stuff. So yeah, go give that a listen. Go help Jamal and Chris out because they deserve it. All right, we got one more voicemail here. It's again from Sarah Amanda. Back for more.
Hey GOCast, it's Amanda here. So I just need to vent. So okay. So before raid hour, my best friend is going through his inventory because it's full and he desperately needs to make space. So I'm watching him swipe through each Pokemon one at a time on the prey screen. Hey, I say, before you select all and transfer, can you tag some of them for trades? No, I really need to make room. But I mean, like, just tag a few, just the ones you want to turn to XL candies. No, I really need to make room. But like, you can do a search for stop or I'll lose my place. No, you won't. You can just filter by CP and I have my methods. And then, okay, sorry, I can't do 2 voices very well. But anyway, so after he's done tapping like each Pokemon individually, he doesn't actually just press select all and transfer them. No, it's like he's like individually tapping each Pokemon, and it's like 600 of them. I'm just watching, going like, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm transferring them," and I'm like, "Well, we'll just do select all." He's like, "Well, I don't want to transfer something on accident." And I'm like, "Well, yes, that's why you exclude stuff with search words." And he's like, "Gotta stick to my method. I know it works. We can both suffer." I just kind of curl up into like the existential crisis Rowlet emoji, and I just let out a defeated distress owl sound because it's like, oh my gosh. I mean, I didn't know it was 600. I saw the number when it was done. It was like 634 Pokemon. Why would you individually tap 634 Pokemon? Anyway,
we're all dying.
It was the most inefficient 15 minutes of my life. Just want to let you know, search strings are pretty good. Just use them.
Yeah.
Save you some time. That's all. Peace. Sir Amanda.
Amazing. Amazing. I don't know. I might have to rethink my friendship with that person.
I'm gonna. All right, so everyone needs to brace themselves. Sarah Amanda, I'm waiting for your message in Discord later after this. That is exactly what I did earlier today.
No!
I have never once used select all.
Not
for
once?
For any of this purpose.
Really? Like after a community day, like you haven't been like, oh, Bone Sweet, select all. I've gone through and picked them.
Nope.
You're what?
Because
I'm having a Sarah Amanda moment right now. I need to leave.
First off, I'm a lot faster than the person that Sarah Amanda was talking to because it took me, I don't know, like maybe 10 minutes to transfer 1,100 Pokemon earlier today. So I'm like 3 times faster than that guy is.
Okay,
but I am also not super on top of it, favoriting things that I necessarily want to keep. So while I'm very quickly going through, in the same way that I would go through my inventory to save things, I go to save things and transfer them at the same time. So I passed by a bunch of Pikachus that had a hat on that I hadn't favorited, but I didn't select them because I need to save a few of those. So I skipped them And then I went back when I was done and I favorited them. So, yeah. I don't favorite it when I catch it because I don't know if I want to keep it for some stuff like that. And then obviously I do IV checks and stuff like that. But if I did select all right now and transfer, I would probably transfer things I don't want to transfer.
Yeah, so you just got to bite the bullet and do it once, and then
it's too much.
Then you'll be.
It is so overwhelming. I have tried it, and just looking at the legendaries, because I have 900 legendaries or something in my inventory, 750 legendaries, and I've tried to go through them, and I did, and I managed to cut down like 100 of them, and it was great.
Wow,
but like it's too many. It's so
really
much, and it's
overwhelming.
It's so much easier to just ignore it and pretend that I have half of the inventory that I do.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I will say I have definitely done an age 0 through 100 select all transfer before.
I really desperately need to. But the problem is it also means I have to make decisions on stuff that I've been keeping that I shouldn't keep.
See, I have the problem where I over favorited. And so I am very protected from a sweeping select all.
That's what I'm saying.
I use it with no mercy.
If I were to clean my inventory, that involves a lot of favorites. I have like 1,600 favorites, which is not actually, I think, that many for people.
Oh.
And I probably don't need all of those. That's for sure.
What's the
tag? But I probably should have stuff favorited that's not favorited too.
Is it favorite or favorited?
I don't know.
It's favorite.
A for it.
It's favorite. 2560.
I have 2222. 2222.
Well, would you look at that? Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. My neurodivergent brain hummed happily to hear that. That was nice. Okay. Well. Anyway. Thanks very much.
While you were looking at favorited, what's the oldest favorited Pokemon you have?
Oh,
sort by favorite.
And then recent. It's a Butterfree from 2016 New York. A 98% Butterfree from New York, July 22nd, 2016.
Mine is not nearly as special. I don't even know. See, I don't know why I have these Pokemon, but I have them because they've been favorited for so long.
Yeah.
I've got my oldest Pokemon on my account is an Ariados from 2017.
Cool.
It was probably the first Ariados I ever got that I evolved. And everything.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Ariados is a sick Pokemon, but I'm sure I'll have plenty of opportunity to gush about bugs.
Oh, I need to tag this. Actually, hang on. This legendary is really important. I have a Gyarados caught from a raid in 2017. Well, it was caught as a Magikarp. It was the first 1-star raid I ever did.
Aww. That's cute. We saved that, but our starter Pokemon, whatever. See,
I mean, I bet you some people still have their starter Pokemon.
No, people certainly do. People certainly do.
I don't.
It's neither of us, though. So
nope. No, it's not.
Anyway, if you, dear listener, have an email or voicemail you'd like to send to us, again, you can send us an email via mail at GOCastPodcast.com. If you'd like to leave us a voicemail, please call 262-586-7717. Go to our website for all things GOCast at GOCastPodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter/X at GOCastPodcast. If you'd like to help support the show, you can by going to Patreon. That's spelled patreon.com/GOCast podcast. And speaking of patrons, a big shout out to our elite trainer tier patrons. I think, Kyle, it is your turn this week.
All right. Shout out to Bo, Daniel, Lloyd, Michael, Ozzy, Markham.
Hey, you know what? Great.
You know what? We're gonna start over.
Okay. All right.
It's a rare occurrence. Shout out to our elite trainers, Bo, Daniel, Lloyd, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, and Mimi, Swartz, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Mottersley, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, and Sarah Laura.
Oh, you got it. I thought you were petering out around Nick and our favorite listener.
I've gotten worse at doing this.
You think so?
I have gotten worse. I don't know why.
We got to get that cardiovascular health up, man, or just cardio.
No,
cardio.
It's not the breath. It's the tongue. I get tongue twisted from when I didn't used to.
Oh, well, we can do on the plane ride to New York. We can do some tongue twisters for like the hour and a half it takes or however long. Yep. Great. Well, thank you very, very much to our Elite Trainer Tier patrons for helping us keep the digital lights on, amongst other things. If you would like to help us out in another way that won't cost you a dime, nary a penny, actually, you can leave us a review. It's free to do on any platform where they take reviews. Please do. We got a review since last week that says, "Shiny Vibes, my favorite Pokemon Go podcast." Thank you so much for the review. We appreciate it. And yeah, thanks in advance to anybody that does. We'll love you forever. Okay, Mr. Kyle, we got to set some goals, and then we are finito for this week. So this upcoming weekend, we've got the Incense Day.
Yeah, can't wait for that. No, again, I'm not doing that.
No, all right, fair enough. All right, so what are you doing?
I'm gonna do 300,000 more experience. Oh, I'm gonna also add Lachlan friendship. That's
good.
Because if I don't have that, even though actually, I guess I don't need to set that. Never mind, because that's on my list of goals for the season, and we're gonna actually review those next. Oh no,
that's right.
I don't remember the goals I set.
Me neither. I forgot we had them.
I'm gonna work on my buddy progress. I've been slacking for my my Shundo Hisuian Typhlosion.
Oh gosh.
And then this is a great one. I'm gonna finish my Rogue of the Jungle research.
Circa when?
No, like the one that was like 3 months ago or whatever it was.
The rerun, of it?
The newest one.
Oh, okay.
I got to the third Zarude or whatever, and then I'm like, all right, I'll finish this.
I'm good. Yeah.
I have to do rocket grunts and some raids, and I have not done a raid in 3 months almost.
Dang.
There hasn't been good raid bosses either.
No,
I'm not interested in the Tapus. I'm not interested.
It has declined. My interest in raiding has declined quite a bit.
Significantly, yeah.
Yeah. It has pretty much devolved to, I probably didn't see it. Or like if a friend that I haven't talked to, or like the only interaction that I have with a close friend is via raids, I prioritize those, and I'll be like, sure, I'll do a 3-star with you because we're buds, right? Like, but
yeah,
I don't care about the Pokemon at all. Yeah. Oh, geez. Anyway, for my goals, I'm going to catch at least 3 shinies. And I'm not going to limit myself to just the research I keep calling it research. I'm not going to limit myself to just the Incense event. It can be any shinies throughout the week other than that as well. Because if I remember correctly, the previous Incense day did not do me many favors. So I'm going to guard myself from that up front. But I'm then going to, of course, mess it up for myself because I really, really, really want a Galarian Meowth shiny more than anything. I've been chasing that for a long, long time. It's one of the main reasons why I was doing eggs so hard for a while. I still don't have one, and I want one very badly.
Yeah.
I'd like to hatch 50 eggs, speaking of eggs. And then this upcoming week, I would like to have 19.25 million Stardust on hand, getting ever closer to that 20 million. And then a spending spree. Don't you know?
No, you won't.
I have a few of them. I've got.
I know you have a lit, but you're going to get there and you'll be like, but I want more now.
50. Let's do it.
Like the writer of My Hero Academia.
That's right. Yeah, I saw you sent that post. Was it 45 million?
Yeah, he has 40. The writer Stardust? Of My Hero Academia has 45 million Stardust.
Now that is going beyond Plus Ultra for sure. United States of Stardust. All right. We're out of here. Thanks for listening all the way through, folks. Thank you, Kyle, as always. And oh, shoot. I should have said this at the top, but I'm going to do it now so that it gets said somewhere. But DeFi was selected and asked to be a shoutcaster at the North American International Championships this year. And while her casting stuff in the past has also been a big deal, this is another rung up because it's an international championship. It is high profile. Awesome. It's fantastic. We're so happy and lucky to have her doing PvP Corner, and we're thrilled for our friend. So congratulations, DeFi. That's incredible.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yep. And with that, we'll see you next week. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I want to leave everybody with an unrelated question.
Oh,
that Chris doesn't know about. Ready?
Okay.
What is the worst Hostess snack?
The worst hostess snack?
Yeah.
Hostess food items, because like only one comes to mind for me.
I have a list of the ones that I think of like the core concept. They have more. They have like bundt cakes and they have danishes and stuff like that, but no one thinks about that when they think of Hostess.
What is this chocolate creamy caramel melt-a-more?
It's like a lava cake. It's like a lava cake, but as a snack.
See that?
I'm going to go with what you've had. Like what you had.
No,
I know my answer, and it's.
I didn't have a worst one in my head. I only had one Hostess product in my mind because I don't eat them.
Oh.
I was just thinking of Twinkies essentially.
Okay,
and that was it. But there's so many.
There are. I think Twinkies are the worst Hostess snack.
Okay, not Zingers.
No, I think Zingers are better than Twinkies. Mostly because they have other flavors.
These are the cold ones, right? Raspberry iced cake with creamy filling. Raspberry Zingers. Hey, these sound good. I'm going to go with Twinkie too. Yeah.
I'd love to hear what everyone has to say. I'm not even joking. Genuinely. I'm going to post on the Discord. I just hadn't yet today.
You heard the man. He's building a spreadsheet.
I am. And with that, bid you farewell.
All right. Bye-bye, y'all. See ya.
Bye.